Today we are going to be creating a aspen tree painting using a variety of elements. Here are some of the vocabulary words you will hear me using in this tutorial. First, don't forget to write your name on the back of your paper. Go ahead and flip it over and make sure your paper is vertical. We're going to draw some vertical lines starting at the top of our paper, going all the way to connect at the bottom. You can make them more narrow at the top and thicker at the bottom. As you do this, don't be afraid to have your trees overlap. These will be the trunks of your trees. Don't make more than 3. For branches, go ahead and make 2 parallel or not so parallel lines sticking out from the trunks of the trees and erase where the branches meet the trunks. We don't need those lines anymore. Now with blue and violet only, you're going to create some contrast here. You're going to get your paintbrush wet and wake up the violet, then clean off your brush and wake up the blue. We're only painting these cool colors in the negative spaces. Negative space is the space around the tree. So it's like the sky or the air that's around the object. That's called negative space. The tree would be the positive space. I'm going ahead and adding purple first, and then I'm going to add blue on top of it. The reason we can mix these two together and not create an unusual, weird, or unwanted color is because they're analogous. They're right next to each other on the color wheel and in your paint tray, so they'll make more of a blue-violet. You've practiced this before in your desert landscapes. Now we're going to practice the element of value. You'll see my paintbrush going off screen to add a little bit more black and a lot of water onto my brush. I'm also making sure that I'm mixing that water and paint on the inside of my cup, not to make it too dark. I'm choosing the left-hand side to make my shadow and drag it all the way down. You can even do the underside of your branches to create a shadow. You'll notice that the right-hand side will stay white. That's what we call a light source. Make sure that you only use a very small amount of black and just wipe it on the inside of your cup like I'm doing there to make it super light gray. Anything darker than that won't really show up when we add the black texture with our paint. Now we're going to be creating some texture that is unique to aspen trees. We're going to be using unusual tools today, so watch close. Take a small, narrow piece of cardboard and dip it into the black paint. We're going to be using a scraping motion across the tree trunk. Start at the pencil line and just scrape right into the middle of your tree. It shouldn't be solid black. It's okay if it's super scratchy and super uneven. That's exactly how aspen trees look. They're not perfect. Continue this step all the way up the trunk of your tree and even onto your branches. Here's an important tip. Make sure you hold your cardboard piece parallel to the pencil line every time you scrape it across. That way it creates a straight across motion instead of a curved one. This will help make the texture look realistic. Repeat this texture step on all of your trees, even starting on the right-hand side of each of your trees. That way, both sides are textured just like a real aspen tree. Now it's time for day 3. And adding some little details like outlining the trees and making the leaves. Using a thick, bold black oil pastel, you're going to push hard and drag it slowly across all of your pencil lines. This will help make your shadows, your textures, and your trees stand out. Now, using tempera paints, start with the lightest color first, which is yellow. Tap your brush into the paint to load it, and you can either make tiny dot motions or little swipes to create the leaves. It's okay to not cover the whole area, and make sure that you're tapping your paintbrush gently onto the areas that you want. You can even overlap on top of the trunks or the branches, and you can even vary the types of dots or swipes that you do so that they are different shapes.